Well, boys and girls, my mate did come round on Tuesday, and once again we ate. And I don't know what it is. My best mate Ron, whenever he comes round, we just seem to eat. Do you have that problem with anyone? It's like, the rest of the week we're pretty careful, because it's very hard keeping the weight off once you go over the age of 30. It really is. So he comes round and immediately, literally, he doesn't even stop the engine on the car. He got here around about 1:30, quite early, and immediately we left to go to the carvery. I went to a carvery in Langley, the Toby carvery. We had 2 lovely roast dinners and 2 honeycomb ice cream drizzled in toffee things. So we had that. And then later on in the evening, we had 2 of those large packets, one of Cadbury's chocolate raisins and one of Cadbury's chocolate buttons. And just before he left, we weighed ourselves. And I'd gone up to 13, I've got a bit of a theory here, right? I'd gone up to 13 stone, 5.7, which isn't good. If you remember, over the last few weeks, I have been watching my weight, boys and girls, and I managed to get down to 12 stone 10. Now, I had become aware that once again it was slowly creeping up because of my sweet tooth for those Cadbury's chocolate buttons and, of course, the Walker's cheese and onion crisps, which once again tempted me. I'm not a very good Catholic. These things tempt me, boys and girls. They tempt me, and I cannot say no. There is another brand of crisps which now and again appears. The only place I've ever seen these crisps is in the crisp machine just outside the swimming pool door. And aren't they crafty, these crisp machine people? Okay, they position the machine just outside where you're thinking, oh, I feel a bit peckish now, don't you? Literally, as you come out of the swimming pool changing room door, there it is, facing you, all bright flashing lights, the automatic crisp machine. I mean, there are other items in there, Mars bars, Twixes, things like that. But I am drawn, my eyes are drawn. I almost like go into a trance and I walk towards, like a zombie, towards the crisp machine. And the crisps in question are Brannigan's ham and pickle. They're in a purple packet and they are even tastier than cheese and onion crisps. Has anyone else tried those? Brannigan's ham and pickle crisps. They are to die for. Anyway, so there's my problem. So it has been creeping up slowly, but on Tuesday we knew we'd eaten a lot. My God, we knew we'd eaten a lot that day. So we weighed ourselves and I'd gone up to 13 stone, 5 points. I was so distraught. So distraught. I thought, how am I ever going to be able to take my top off in public again? But do you know what? The next day I was a bit careful with what I was eating. And today I'm 13 stone, 0.6. So the difference between Tuesday night and now is like nearly £5. And I've got this theory. Okay, we all put weight on slowly. But I have a feeling if you eat more, you lose more. Do you reckon that's about right? Do you see what I'm saying here? Now, I know in 2 days' time, I'm not going to weigh another £5 less. I might be lucky and achieve a pound, or maybe 3/4 pound. But I think if you go out and have, shall we say, a blowout, that's where you go a little bit mad. It's nothing to do with passing wind or anything like that. Oh, God. No, nothing to do with that. If you go out and have a bit of a blowout, I think a couple of days later, if you're careful again, you can lose that blowouted weight very, very quickly. Anyone else found that? Very, very strange. Well, hello, boys and girls. Welcome along to the show. My name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk on United Kingdom Radio, and you're with us live if it's around about 11 on Thursday, the 4th of November 2010. If you're with us that time, then you are with us live. If it's any other time, you're watching or listening to a recording of the show, you can join in by whatever time you're listening by email. Our email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. A couple of people with us already. Good morning to Millie in Minnesota. Hit the record button. I have done so. Thank you, Millie. She says, I'm tuning in now. Don't want to telling off like I did last week. Well, I'm sorry, Millie. You had to be told off, dear. You can't be ringing in radio stations randomly, not knowing what on earth we're talking about, dear. And I have got something for you to join in with later on, boys and girls. Don't worry, it's all coming. Don't rush me. Don't rush me. Good morning, Millie. She says it sounds perfectly awful. What, eating all that food? Oh no, it was wonderful. Going to a carvery, Toby carvers. So these ones are slightly dearer, £5.25. But you get the massive roast dinner for this. We love it. We love going to a carvery. Thank you, Millie. Good morning to Zach in Orange, in Australia. Good morning, Zach. How are you today, sir? Zach will be, at some point, joining our little crew for a little test run, aren't you? You will be our first Australian presenter. The only thing is, he has satellite internet. Have you heard of that? Oh, yes. He connects to the internet by satellite, dear. No, it's not his own satellite. He's got a dish. He must have a dish. Is it a very big dish? Or is it like the dishes that we use here in the UK for our internet radio? Oh, we got a call coming in already. Good morning, Martin.
Hiya.
Morning, Martin. How are you today? All right?
Yeah, I'll live. Just about. Got my cup of tea and everything.
Which vortex are you speaking from?
But
Which vortex are you speaking from?
what is in place?
As in place? Don't you watch Star Trek?
No.
Don't you know about
Boring.
vortexes and nebulas?
No.
Oh, for God's sake. Please don't tell me you're a Star Wars person. I will be very disappointed.
No, I'm not. No. I
Star
don't
Wars.
watch
I mean,
TV.
what's all that about? Star Wars. I mean, it's just fantasy, not like Star Trek. A lot of people don't realise Star Trek is actually a real-life documentary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, of course you
Star
are.
Wars is just people waving plastic things around.
Oh, it make me laugh. This light thing. I mean, you've seen them in Tesco's. In Tesco's home and furniture, or whatever it's called down the road. They have these sad little old lightsabers, and they've got batteries at the end here. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not real, is it? It's not real.
I mean, on trick or treat night, there were two people going around with lightsabers. I just thought, you idiots.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought you were a little bit old to go trick or treating.
No, I just take a little one.
Have you got a little brother or sister then?
No, my girlfriend's got a little brother, so we had to take him.
So you took him around, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad about that. I did. It was quite nice driving to work. Was it on Friday last week or the 31st? I can't remember whatever day it was. And I left my home, and you saw all these little people in their Halloween outfits. Oh, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. The little girls with their hats on, and the boys with the vampire and holding these fork things and what have you. Wow, wonderful. Of course, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, there was no such thing. This thing has been like imported from the States.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? And never really did it like that.
And it's amazing how far it's actually gone, and the fact that it's still around today, and this was brought up so many years ago. It's just amazing how generations just carry this sort of stuff on.
Yes, yeah. How old are you? 18, 16?
16.
16. Did you have trick or treat when you were little or not?
No, actually, first time trick or treating was when we took my girlfriend's little brother out. I mean, I've experienced people, knocking on the door and coming trick or treating, but I've never actually been trick or treating myself until this year.
I'm just trying to work out when it really started in this country. Like I say, I mean, not only did I not do it when I was little, it just didn't exist. We didn't do that sort of thing, like computers. When I was your age, there was no computers. Can you imagine a life without your PC?
I know, sucks, doesn't it?
I mean, I couldn't do radio. Well, I did do radio. I had a pirate radio station back in the 80s. Yeah, early 80s. I had you know what a dipole is?
No.
Okay, it's like an aerial, a long aerial with like two metal bits, one bit at the top, one bit at the bottom, and a piece of wooden dowling in the middle to separate the two. A wire attached to that on the roof of my flat. Thank you very much. Got nicked for that. Thank you. Yeah, I used to play music and all that stuff when I was about 18 years old. So
yeah,
there we are.
It's all part of practice, isn't it, really? You come on to bigger stations and bigger.
Yeah,
no one actually knows that you ever started up on Pirates.
Did you not know that?
Pardon?
Did you not know that I did pirate radio?
No, I never did that. You never told me.
Yeah, but it's very different to the pirate radio there is now. In those days, it was sort of like, play records and entertain people. Now, there seems to be all sorts of people in London selling drugs and everything on there.
I know,
it's unbelievable. That's not what I wanted to. We wanted to entertain people, and that's. I think that's what we did. And we even took phone calls. We kind of took over a public phone box just down the road. Seriously. And someone would sit in that phone box waiting for calls. And then when he got calls, he'd have to run all the way up to up my stairs. Because we lived two lots of stairs up.
Yeah.
And he had to run up those stairs with a request. Oh, it was a great laugh. A really good time. But we did get done for that eventually, and that's just the way it is. And then there was a huge gap. Then I did some AM radio in London, actually. I was on a station there doing an overnight show. And then there was a big gap, and then this whole internet radio thing started. And I had a little thing on Live 365. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
But that's kind of a little bit defunct now, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not very...
it's expensive. It's actually quite expensive to do something on there, and you get very little response, really, so I don't do that really anymore.
Well, I mean, Shoutcast is, I would say about the same sort of level as Live 365, but so much cheaper, isn't it? It's,
a hell of a lot cheaper.
Every month, $9, which is equivalent to, I don't know, £2.50 or £3.50 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's for a month, streaming 128 kilobytes, 100 listener slots.
Oh, you're going to start losing our listeners if you start talking in those numbers, because they won't have a clue what you're talking about. I haven't got a clue what you're talking about, to be honest.
Funny, because I worked with the server people for a while.
Someone else does all that for me. I ain't got a clue, to be honest. Not a clue. So do you ever go out for a bit of a blowout like that with your food?
Kind of, yeah. I'm quite a heavy eater, actually.
Right.
And, I've heard that phrase before, that the more you eat, you don't put on.
No, I swear. Well, in that space of time, like on the Tuesday night, we just ate Tuesday, and then weighed myself, and it was like 12 stone over 13 stone 5, and now I'm just a touch over 30, and that's a £5 difference in 2 days. But I guarantee, as I say, in 2 days' time, I won't lose another £5. It might go down a tiny little bit, but there just seems to be that huge sudden loss in 2 days. So I'm convinced that if you eat loads and loads just for 1 day, okay, you'll put on a bit, but it won't stay on. A little bit of it will stay on, but the rest will come straight off. And I think the body compensates for that.
Mm.
Do you take your girlfriend out to I know you probably haven't got much money at your age, have you yet?
Well, through radio stuff, I do actually have my fair amount, fair share, and we do go out quite a bit, so...
What sort of restaurants would you go to, like fast food or?
No, I hate fast food restaurants.
Okay, yeah. Where do you go? Is there whereabouts are you?
Warwick.
Warwick. Where is there? Is there like? Do you ever go to posh restaurants?
There's quite a few pizza type sort of places up in the top of the high street.
What are they, posh ones? Are they or what?
Yeah, they're pretty what I would call high standard restaurants.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of coffee shops around as well. So
you go out to those sort of places, do you?
Yeah.
Do you do
I'm not a big fan of fast food stuff.
Well, I mean, neither.
McDonald's
I quite like. I like Subway. Do you have a
Subway's good.
Do you have a Subway there?
Yeah. It's just down the road from where I live, actually.
Yeah, I get a ham and cheese toasted thing with all those vegetables on that. But to be quite, I find them quite expensive. I don't know how we ever got to the stage of paying £5 for basically what is a ham and cheese roll.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just been whacked in the microwave for 10 seconds. Or something.
One of the things I was going to bring up today was things we've been conned into. Okay,
Ooh, there's an awful lot of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, there is an awful lot of stuff. Things that we've been convinced or conned into some way that we didn't realise we were doing it. And I think one of the things is indeed paying over £5 for basically a ham and cheese roll with a bit more vegetables in it.
Yeah, where you could just, go down to Sainsbury's or Tesco's and buy a roll, buy some ham, buy some cheese, whack it in the microwave, bang. You've got your Subway, There
used to be a baker's in many of the towns in the UK, We've still got our little bakers. And if you go in there, always in the morning, there would be a selection of rolls there, what do you want, ham and cheese, and it would be £1, maybe £1.50, something like that. And you can still do that. One of them being there's a phone call. Can you? No, I'm not. I'm going to ignore that. I'm too into this conversation now.
Yes, yeah.
It was Coombs the bakers, and they became Greggs. Do you have a Greggs?
Yes, we do. Yeah,
right,
it's right up in the top of town.
Yeah, so you used to be able to get like cheese and ham rolls and this, that, and the other, and it was only like a couple of quid or something. It wasn't a couple of quid. But quite reasonable.
It's the odd 99p type stuff. For just like a roll with a bit of cheese.
That's right. And when I was working for BT, British Telecom, I always had a sausage roll and some sort of other ham and cheese roll, something like that. And then in the last, their only year recently, suddenly came along Subway, and we were paying £5.5. So I think that's something we've been conned into.
Yeah, well, I think that's originally a US shop, isn't it, Subway?
Is it?
Yeah, because I saw it on a TV advert saying that it was all started up in the USA.
Yes.
And then they brought it over to the UK, decided to set up, all the places and stuff, and it seems to turn out to be a big success over here.
Yeah. I mean, I've got no...
Obviously, we've been conned into the fact that Subway's a huge place. You can get really nice, tasty stuff from there. Whereas, as you said, it's just taken over, really, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
It's taken completely over Greggs and, other restaurants and stuff like that.
I've no complaints about their food. I mean, quite like it.
The food is awesome, but...
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that they don't butter the rolls.
Mm.
Or they call them subs, don't they? I don't know why they call them subs. They're rolls. They are rolls. I don't know where this sub word. Now that's come over from the States as well. Sub.
Yes.
Do you want a ham and cheese? No, I'll have a ham and cheese roll, please. And they look at you and they ain't got a clue what you're talking about. No complaints about the food, except for the fact I don't understand why they don't butter them.
Yeah.
Do they? So that's one thing.
I mean, we should make a Facebook group or something, get loads of people to join it and go to Subway and say, start buttering our, as we call rolls, not subs.
I'll tell you what, Ma, why don't you set one of those up?
Yeah,
we want our Subways buttered.
Yeah, butter our subs.
That sounds a good idea. Well, is there anything else that you can think of that, we've suddenly been conned into thinking that we actually want over the last few years?
Another thing with Subway, I mean, we actually want more hot drinks as well, because there's a lot of Subways, I mean, in Warwick that we've got. They only do, this sort of really rubbishy fizzy pop type stuff now. And, you have to walk a mile or something to the nearest cafe when actually you want a Subway with a coffee.
Oh, you can't get a tea or coffee in yours then?
No.
Oh, well, I can. Well, the ones I go in, there's one in Clapham, which I'm going to have to start using. Now, usually on a Thursday and a Sunday night when I'm working in Clapham, that's a place in London, I go to this jacket potato shop.
Yeah.
And I have the most wonderful jacket with chili con carne and cheese on. And he's you're never hungry after. He stuffs it in this little polystyrene box, and I then take it into work and I sit in the back room and eat it before I. And all the cheese is melted on the top. Oh, it's beautiful. And they do these apple pies in there.
Yeah.
And they are not like the McDonald's apple pies. They're not like stuck in a blooming fat fryer.
Oh, hate that. Absolutely hate that.
These are proper
disgusting.
little apple pies that they make out the back, and beautiful. Now, I've been going there for over 10 years, and I went in there Sunday and ordered my stuff as usual. Lovely man behind the counter. He speaks good English, but he's from Pakistan. Really nice bloke. And he says, I've got some bad news. I said, what's that? He said, we're closing Saturday. I says, and there was a queue, 3 or 4 people behind me, and all these ears pricked up. What do you mean you're closing? He said, yeah, we got an owner, and he says it's not making enough. And, it always seems to be quite a few people in there. The only criticism I've got of that place is that they're slow.
Yeah.
But I think that's because of what they're making in there. I don't think you can do it any faster. Unless you have some more staff and then you've got more costs and all that. But if you've got a queue of 4 people there, then you're going to be standing in that queue for 10 minutes at least.
Yeah. And I mean, it would be worth it, to find quality food, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice. But they're closing on Saturday, so tonight, I'm working there tonight, and it's going to be like the Last Supper.
Yeah.
It will be, probably Jesus will come in as well with his 12 disciples and have that final chili con carne on cheese jacket potato with me as well. So after today, I think probably I'm going to have to go to, because it's got a Subway there as well. I shall go there once or two. Alternatively, I could just have something before I leave the house and save myself £500 a year.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how much.
Yeah.
Twice, I buy out twice a week. Like a sandwich shop or something like that. That's £10 a week. That's £500 a year over.
Yeah.
Untrue, isn't it? Do you feel like you've been conned into buying anything, or whether it's a gadget or fast food, or you're now doing something, you think to yourself, why did I ever start buying these or whatever? Anything you can think of?
Not really, no. I mean, obviously these netbooks, they're little sort of, I would call them a copy of laptops,
netbooks.
Just shrinked right down. Whoever came with that idea just wanted to make money,
Is that, have you got one?
Well, I did have one, and so did my friend, but they're absolutely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish.
Why are they rubbish, Ma?
Well, the little screens on them.
Yeah.
They're just, because they're so small, they're just so compact and really, really breakable. Can say my screen just came off just by pushing it down. Whereas you've got a normal laptop, you can push the screen right way down to the desk.
That's right.
You can slam it shut and nothing will happen to it. It's all fine. It's sealed around the outside and everything. Yeah. Netbook's screen's not even covered when it's put down.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've not really. I think my little nephew's got one. Jimmy's 13, but apart from him, I haven't really seen one of them in use. I DJ from a laptop all the time.
Yeah.
You always get some clever sod who comes over and says, what happens if I do this? And they then push the screen down, right? Yeah. What they don't realise is that I've actually turned that off because it happened once before. So it doesn't actually shut down the computer anymore. But I've played from a laptop, never really had a problem with a broken screen. Is a netbook, would you say it's like an iPad or not at all?
Have
you seen an iPad?
It's about the same size, isn't it, really?
Have you actually touched and seen an iPad?
No.
Okay, no.
Not yet.
Neither have I. I just wondered. I mean, people rave about these things, don't they?
I know.
I wonder if you can DJ from an iPad.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Is there the soft... Oh, well, that would impress them, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if there is the software to be able to do that at the moment. DJ from an iPad.
It's something to look into, isn't it, really,
It certainly is. Do you work, Ma, or what?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm a radio presenter just like you.
Okay. Oh, you get paid for that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Are you on rubbish money? Most people, unless they're on the breakfast show, are on rubbish money.
Yeah, I'm on rubbish money, as they call it, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, when I was doing Liberty Radio in London, AM, I was doing overnight, Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going back here to 1999. I did 2 a.m. till 6:30 a.m. Okay,
Flipping heck.
How much?
Minimum wage.
40
probably.
quid. 40 quid.
40. Oh my god.
And
They
that
need to be shut down. If they're giving you that.
And other people I knew in radio told me I was really lucky to be getting that, because a lot of them are doing it for, absolute peanuts.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to tell me what you're getting or not? Remember, you're still in the job, so you might not be allowed to tell me.
No, I don't think I will be.
That's fine. You don't have to tell me, but I roughly know, so don't worry about that. My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not very much, put it that way. But, it's great fun. Absolutely great fun, doing it. Just sitting there, having a nice cup of tea, playing a bit of music, talking to some wonderful people in the world. It just makes you feel that little bit more important in the world.
Yeah, that is nice, being able to talk to people. I don't really feel important doing this, not at all. I just like talking to people, that's all it is.
Yeah.
My mate says to me the other day, I was round his house, not last week, the week before, I got round his house, he reckons I was, as soon as I met him, I started talking, and I talked for 1 hour and 40 minutes without stopping.
It sort of takes over sometimes then, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Does your girlfriend work?
Not at the moment, no.
What's her name?
Tasman.
Tasman? Oh, that's a nice name. How old is she?
She's 3 years younger than me.
Okay, so she still goes to school, does she?
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Does she know what she wants to do yet?
Pardon?
Does she know what she wants to do yet?
Yeah, she does, yeah. She wants to do design and beauty.
Oh, they all want to do that, don't they?
I know, but they'll end up changing their minds,
Her first job can be to work on me and to make me look 15 years younger, and I would appreciate that. Nice to talk to you, Mo, all right?
Yeah, and yeah, I'll give you a ring back when I get this Facebook group up for Butter My Subs.
Yeah, Butter My Subway. That's a good one. We like that one. Cheerio now.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Ma. There we are, Ma in Warwick here in the UK. Some messages are coming in here from Ben. Ben wants to know, did you weigh yourself just before the show? Yes, I did. I did, actually. He says, it was probably all the hot air you're saving up for the show. What do you mean? No, I've already lost... Oh, are you suggesting, now that I've been speaking for half an hour, I might have lost even more weight? What a good idea. I may weigh myself after the show as well, Ben. He says, lots of US franchises, like Subway, have conned us. Starbucks, McDonald's, Subway, and all that business. Well, I do like a Subway. But how on earth did we get to this point where we're paying over £5 for a ham and cheese roll? We did. Ben also says, youngsters, when laptops first came out, the screens were as small as the netbook ones are now. And that is true. I know that because my first laptop, the screen was a lot smaller than it was. Actually, when laptops first came out, they were the 4x3 screen. Now they're all wide screen. But they were 4x3. To be honest, it was easier for me with a 4x3 screen. Of course, the widescreen now take up more space on the desktop. But I don't think you can find a normal size one now. Ben has also found an iPad DJ app. Oh, I'm going to have a look at that. Because I'm thinking here, how impressed would people look if I turned up to work with an iPad? Eh? They would look, that would impress them, wouldn't they? Back over to Australia and Zach, who says, I noticed Zach was addicted to lollies. We're talking about our addiction to sweets and things like that. I certainly feel an addiction to certain flavours of crisps and Cadbury's giant chocolate milk buttons. Zach was addicted to lollies after finishing year 12. Oh, you're not still eating those lollies? I bet you got no teeth left, have you, Zach? I bet he's got all black teeth, hasn't he? Zach in his mouth there. He says, do you mean like Coca-Cola and Starbucks for the cons? Now there's a good one. Starbucks, again, something we've been conned into. Somehow, we've been taken along this path of thinking that whenever we want a coffee, we go out and buy one from Starbucks or Costa Coffee, something like that. Costa Coffee, which is where Mikey Holt goes. And he always has his little points card with him, doesn't he, Mikey Holt? Costa Coffee, Starbucks. What's the other one? There's another one as well. Chain of them. Oh, it doesn't matter what it's called. But yes, people are spending hundreds of pounds a year on cups of coffee. You used to be able to go out and get a cup of tea for like 50 pence. And again now, if you ask for a large tea in Starbucks, it's nearly £2. How have we allowed this to happen? We have allowed this to happen to ourselves. Zach also says in Subway, they compensate for the butter with the various sauces that they put on. You know, it's always covered in mayonnaise and this, that and the other, haven't they? Right, Ma has already set up a Facebook group, which you may want to join. I'm going to like this now. Better Subway my sub. Butter our subs, okay? The group is called Butter Our Subs, if you want to have a little look at that. I'll put that on my Facebook thing. Let's see if that's going to work, is it? Yes, it is. If you go to my Facebook, at the top of my wall, you will see the new link. We must start a petition up to get our Subways buttered if we want them buttered. Or margarined, if that's the word, is it margarined? You can join this group now, boys and girls. Go to my Facebook. My Facebook username is Chris Reardon UK. All right? Chris Reardon UK is my Facebook name. At the top of there, Butter Our Subs, a new Facebook group. Join it there. Dear me. Okay, some more messages going in. Thank you for that, Ma. So that's up and running now. Let's have a look here. Ben says, oh yes, Cafe Nero. That's the other coffee shop. We're all paying £2 or £3 for a cup of coffee, for a drink, for Christ's sake. Do you know, when my dad went to work, he took a flask of tea and you'd make it. You can buy a flask for £5. You can buy a flask for £5. You make the tea in the morning, you take it into work. No, you can't be bothered to do that now, can you? You've become lazy. This is the trouble. You have become lazy. Make it before you go. Or I bet there's a coffee machine at work, isn't there? You've got coffee machines at work, and yet you still prefer to pop over the road. I'll just get one from Starbucks. And the staff are never very happy, are they, in these places? Have you noticed that? The worst one I went to, well, I say the worst one, I don't make a point of going to these places, but I did. There is one within Thorpe Park, which is a theme park that is near me, that I went to. I think it was a Cafe Nero. I'm not 100% sure. But I asked for these drinks and they were way overpriced as usual. I was with my my two nephews and the older one's girlfriend. And this is going back, I think, last year or possibly the year before. And this Polish girl made my tea. And we took it back and I took the cup off and it was all milk. It was all milk. So I took it back. I said, I'm sorry, you put too much milk in there. Well, my God, she didn't say a word. She slammed this cup of tea down on the top and made another one and slammed it back down again and walked off. I mean, awful staff in some of these places. I don't know why we go in them. Should be making a flask. Make your flask and take it into work. You will save yourself. If you are buying just 1 cup of coffee per day every week, you will save yourself the price of a reasonable holiday over the course of a year. Just take that. It may not look like this is, you see, the pennies make pounds. Pennies make pounds. You put the money you save in a little box, you know, whatever it's going to be, £2, let's call it £2 a day, okay? It's £10 a week. That's £500 a year. £500. Do you fancy an iPad? Can't afford one at the moment? Do you buy a cup of coffee every day? In a year, you will have the money to buy an iPad. How's that sound? Incidentally, I have a feeling that we will never be getting any advertising from Starbucks on this programme. Dear me. Ben says you could also do the same if you make a roll before work and left it in car in cling film for after work. Yeah, people used to take sandwiches to work. Again, my dad did. Mum would make him his sandwiches or rolls and all that in the morning, little plastic box, take them to work. People don't do that now, do they? Or let's just pop over to Pret-a-Manger and spend £10 on a sandwich. It's madness. How have you been conned? How have we all been conned into this way of thinking that we don't have to make anything anymore? It can all be done in the shop for an arm and a leg. Good morning to Fag Ashlil, who says, coffee shops con you. This is coming from Fag Ashlil in Hove, actually. Yeah, but there is a little place there I would like to visit in Brighton called the Tea Cosy. I think I mentioned this, Bob, once. Fag Ashlil. Didn't I? There's a little place, really a camp place called the Tea Cosy. I don't know how much he charges, though. Fag Ashley reckons Ma's girlfriend is doing beauty, not plastic surgery, so she can't help me. Thank you very much, Fag Ashley. Thank you very much indeed. Do you think I need plastic surgery? I don't know. Good morning to Holly in Charlotte, North Carolina. Good morning, Holly. Are you a Starbucks drinker? He's a secret Starbucks drinker. Oh no, that's our White's lemonade, isn't it? Yeah. Millie likes the sound of the ham and pickle crisps. Brannigan's ham and pickle crisps. I bet you can't get those in this. Oh, you must be able to get those. You can get anything in the States. Anything you want. Next time I go to the States, I'm going to try and find some elephant-flavoured crisps. I like the sound of elephant-flavoured crisps. Zach says he'd love to have an espresso machine within arm's reach of my bed. But what are those about, eh? Espresso machines. Have you seen the price of those? Hundreds of pounds. And you put this thing in the top and then you push a button and out of the bottom comes the tiniest cup of coffee you've seen in your entire life. I mean, you can do the same with a kettle, dear. Why are people spending fortunes on espresso machines? You can do the same with a boiling kettle and a bit of powder. You don't need one of those. Honestly. Holly makes her own coffee. I'm pleased that one of us has got some sense. Holly doesn't go to these places. She makes her own coffee. I'm impressed with that, Holly. I really am. Mars says on his better Subway thing, we've already got 3 likes on there. So come on, we got to join that. Butter our subs. Join that Facebook group. It's at the top of my wall now. My Facebook username is Chris Reardon UK. Have a look there. On the top of my wall is Butter Our Subs, the brand new Facebook group. Ben says, the stupid thing is in these days of recession, fast food outlets are doing better trade than ever. Yes, they are, especially Domino's pizzas. I saw this the other day. Domino's pizzas are doing really well at the moment. Isn't that strange? In this time of, cutting back on things, the fast food outlets are doing better. And everyone knows it's cheaper to make yourself. Look, when I finish this show, I could go down to Sainsbury's and buy an entire loaf of bread, which will last at least 4 or 5 days, at least. Okay? A packet of ham and a packet of margarine, all those items for £4 for all those. £4. £4 for probably a week of sandwiches there. Oh, where you pay £5 for 1 sandwiches in Subway. Aren't they? Ben stayed in a hotel. In the morning, a woman came in with a cup of tea, lifted the bedclothes and gave... please, Ben, do we have to have that sort of chat on here? This is a family programme. I shall now close your chat window and punish you for the rest of the show by not reading out any more. You're very, very naughty. That is not for this station. Thank you very much. Holly says, I make my own because I'm cheap. Holly, you are not cheap. You are sensible. You are sensible, Holly. Okay? Not cheap ever. Sensible. Dominos are also a US import, says Ben. Look who else is with us today. It's Helen. Cousin Helen. Listening into a very, very posh place in Surrey. Good morning, Helen. Who says most of the body is made up of water. So that £5 was probably that. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Wasn't £5 of water. It was the food that went quickly like that, Helen. Helen, are you going on a diet, dear? I'm not saying that you need to. Perhaps you should weigh yourself and decide for yourself, my love. Cousin Helen. How wonderful to hear from her. Yeah. She also says, this really is my cousin who's joining us this morning, incidentally. She's going to be out in Australia at the same time as me, and I have promised to take her to Subway on Oxford Street. Always when I go to Sydney, I go to Subway on Oxford Street. Don't know why. It's kind of right on a corner. And you see the whole world going by in the windows. She says, when you take me out on our meal date in Sydney, can we go for an Aussie pie? Have you tried them? I love them. No, I haven't. What's an Aussie pie? Helen? Dying to know what an Aussie pie is. By the way, Helen, can you hear my new clock? Listen to that. Isn't that lovely? That's my new clock, Helen. I only bought it last week. I thought I'd play that to you. Yes. Ben says, I thought you'd closed the window. Well, I'm going to have to close it again. Thank you. Closed. There we are. And Zach says, Domino's is pretty good, though. They almost match my home-cooked pizza. Oh, do you do home-cooked pizzas, Zach? Oh, well, that's it now. It might be worth that 4-hour train journey just to have one of your pizzas. Have you got a Domino's where you live, Zach? Eh? I quite like a Domino's. Talking of Australia, actually, I have now booked... I've already got my ticket to Australia, but yesterday... I'm just trying to find a bit of paper now. Oh, I think I moved it in the other room. I've now booked my... What have I done with that? I've now booked my internal flight to Norfolk Island when I'm there. And I shall tell you, let me find it now. Or maybe I've deleted that because I printed it. I printed it off and deleted it. Oh, there it is. I now have booked my tickets for Norfolk Air. I shall be arriving on Norfolk Island on January the 16th and leaving there on January the 29th. So I am spending the majority of my time in Australia on Norfolk Island this time. Okay, boys and girls. Now, for Saturday's show... Something for you to think about then is what we've been talking about here. I won't take any more calls on this because I want to do a couple of emails before we disappear today. Think about this for Saturday. Saturday's live show is at 3 o'clock UK time. That's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, if you're outside the UK, you're never quite sure what time it is in the UK, we now have a UK clock on the main website, which has all been revamped and looking very pretty. UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. Okay, UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. Just on the right-hand side of that, you will find a UK clock. Okay, it says GMT. That is the UK time. So if you're not sure what time the show's on, I will be on at 1500 hours live on Saturday afternoon. UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. If you want to listen or watch any of the old shows, you can find those on the main website for this particular show. That is UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk, the main website for all the recordings of this show. Okay. Good morning to Mandy this morning. Mandy Gap, who is a drag queen, who I am working with tonight. I'm very much looking forward to it. She does a version of Play Your Cards Right called Queen of the Pack with her wonderfully glamorous and ever youthful looking assistant, due to a lot of face work done. Her name is Nikki Vixen, who says, "Hello, my darling, loving the show. I'm so looking forward to working with you tonight at the Two Brewers with Nikki, Nancy Vixen and our Queen of the Pack show." It's like, he's got these great big playing cards. I don't know if you've ever seen Player Cards, right, with Bruce Forsyth. You've probably got your own versions in the State and indeed in Australia or wherever you are. And that's what we're doing tonight, like a stage version of that. And it's really good. And it's very, very funny. The funny bit, Keith, who is Mandy Gap, he's a little bit like me, where sometimes on the stage he starts going on and on and on. And you're screaming at him, get on with it. You know, the sort of thing. And I always find that hilarious. There's an Australian drag queen I've worked with a few times as well who does that. Dolly Diamond is her name. She's worked in Melbourne and Sydney and places like that. And she does that as well. You know, they come on the stage and they're going on and on. You think, get on with it. And they say, and it just goes on. I find that hilarious because people are being wound up. Get on with it. And they won't. They just carry on doing it. It's hilarious. So that's what I'm doing tonight. Okay, so if you're anywhere near Clapham tonight, the Two Brewers is the place that you go. I think it's about £3 to come in on the Thursday to watch a show. Show's at midnight, okay? Mandy Gap and Nikki, Nancy Vixen with Queen of the Pack and me pushing the buttons. I think we're doing 80s and 90s music tonight. Thank you, Mandy. Helen says, proper meat pies are the Aussie pies. Lots of filling and they are great. You'll love them. Oh, well, maybe, Helen, maybe I will buy you lunch and for dinner we'll have an Aussie pie. Is that good? We might be doing that, yes. Good morning to Ian, who says, stop talking about these big companies on your show. They don't need any advertising. Keep up the good work and enjoying your banter. Thank you, Ian. We do like to have a little bit of a chat now and again. You know me, enjoying the chat. The email address of the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, Zach, I'm very disappointed to find out that Zach will not be with us Saturday afternoon because he's in Sydney. Haven't you got a mobile phone that you can listen to? We are on Nokia and the iPhone app. What's the iPhone app we're on? TuneIn Radio, I think it's called. TuneIn Radio is the iPhone app we're on. Okie doke. I think it's time for. Let me have a look. Yep. Let's go to the emails now. Oh, Helen. Helen says yes. He really is. He is really my cousin, and is always talks like this. Never stops. I don't know what you're chatting about, Helen. I have to tell you, cousin Helen, when she was small, she used to insist on standing. On Boxing Day, all the family used to go round to one of our aunties' house, either Auntie Shirley or Auntie Marion. Right, they never came to our house because we only had a small place, and these two had quite large houses. So we went, and cousin Helen always insisted, at some point on Boxing Day, to stand on a chair and start singing Christmas carols. I don't know why she did it, and now for some reason she gets very embarrassed when I bring it up. I don't know why that is. Why do you get embarrassed? You should stop hiding your talents under a bushel. That's what it says, dear. Now, as I say, going back to next Saturday's show coming up in a couple of days' time, Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock UK time. I want you to have a little think about that. Okay, and join in on Saturday. Things we've been conned into over the years, like Subway, anything like that. You can think of how on earth did we start paying for something like this that we didn't want. I've got another couple of ideas as well. I won't do them now because I want to go on to the emails. Okie doke. Hello to Andrew, who sends this in about David Cameron. We were talking about David Cameron. And he says, hi, Chris. Heard you praising David Cameron on Saturday's show for opposing an increase in the EU budget. Absolutely. I mean, how much money do they want? What do the Euro MPs do with all these billions of pounds? It's shocking. Shocking the amount of money that these Eurocrats waste, and it is wasted. And the amount of money they spend on themselves, that's another thing we've been conned into. The European, what's that place? That place in Brussels where they all sit. Have we been conned into paying for this thing? Andrew says, as UK Prime Minister, he shouldn't be opposing an increase in the budget. He should be taking us out of the EU. Oh, I agree. I have never ever wanted to be part of the European Union. We are the United Kingdom and that's it. There was nothing wrong with the Commonwealth. I liked the Commonwealth. Andrew says, we pay over £40 million to be in the European Union. I don't know if these figures are true. I haven't checked them. And what do we get out of it? Nothing. The two richest countries in Europe, Norway and Switzerland, aren't even in the EU. More and more laws are being made by the EU, which Britain is unable to oppose. Brussels law overrides British law. You see, I think this is so wrong, isn't it? Which, since the European Parliament cannot amend the laws proposed by the EU Commission, is turning over British democracy to unelected officials in Brussels. Better out, I say. Well, I'll get off my soapbox now, and that's from Andy. No, Andy, I agree. I agree. Never wanted to be in the EU. Really didn't. Email here from young Jennifer. Oh, hang on a minute. Are you using a phone? Not at the moment. Oh, sorry. What, to listen? No, I've only got someone's asking me, can I listen to my radio station on the phone? No, I can't. I've got a Nokia Express Music 5800, and that doesn't work for internet stations, unfortunately. But I'm getting a free iPhone in December. Free upgrade. Finally, an email here from young Jennifer, who says, hi, Chris. Hello to you and your fellow listeners. Well, thank you for the compliment, yet you asked about dyeing my roots darker than my blondes. Yes, I noticed on the picture you sent, the colour of your roots was dark, and your hair is blonde. So I wondered why, Jennifer, you were dyeing your roots a darker colour. She says, I am blonde and brunette. The longest strands of hair are darker. I have a hair colour line that runs from ear to ear. Most of the time it looks really pretty when I've styled it and it clashes with the blonde. I've had this style for about 5 years now. I believe I may be one of the first to get this style out. Well done, Jennifer. This programme is, of course, full of styles and everything is up to date on this programme. I only saw a few women who had the same kind of dual colours, but now I see it everywhere. And I only dye my roots every 6 to 8 weeks. At least I have a full head of hair, unlike some, as I clear my throat. What are you suggesting? Are you suggesting that there might be a little bit going from the middle of my hair? Is that what you're saying? What a liberty, dear. She says, I know your birthday is on February the 5th. Well, you had mentioned that Howard Jones has his birthday in February. He and I actually share the same birthday, February the 21st. We are all February people, you see. And you had mentioned about the gay gene makes you look younger. Yes, of course it does. Most people think I'm about 35. It's true. I would actually have to agree. I think I know why too. They are generally just happy people. We are happy people. And I don't mean to ruffle any feathers here, but since not many places legalise a gay marriage, they aren't legally married. Well, I don't go along with all this gay marriage business. I don't understand that at all. I'm sorry. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. A gay marriage, I think, no, you can't have I mean, in my mind, it has to be a man and a woman getting married. You know, gay relationships, two people, same sex together, yeah, okay. But married, for me, that doesn't work. I don't get it. But that might be the Catholic bit of me coming out. I don't know. You know, two men getting married or two women getting married. For me, that doesn't work. She says, have you seen how people change once they get married? They become miserable. I am. I love it. I am married and miserable. Only because I live 1,500 miles away from my husband. Oh, it's a long way to be, isn't it, eh? I don't have the opportunity to be with him very much, and a lot of people joke that it is the perfect marriage. I beg to differ, she says. Now, if I disliked my husband and only wanted his money, it would be a great marriage. But that's not the case. I can't wait to join him in 5 years' time. I have to wait until Dallas, her daughter, graduates high school in order to leave. Yeah, but that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? That will just be wonderful when eventually you are able to move and be near your loved one. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, remember that? You mentioned about Katie, your cat, waking you up at night. At least you don't have a fight break out over you. As I've mentioned before, I have a total of 9 cats, 3 of which are now outside due to peeing everywhere and destroying computers. I think I've emailed you with a picture of my favourite cat, Nacho. When he sleeps with me, he snuggles right up to me at my chest and will literally try and sleep across my neck. Last night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, Nacho was on a chest of drawers, eating his food, and noticed Crackerjack hop on the bed. That's another cat. Crackerjack tried to snuggle up to my chest. This woke me up because he walked around in a little circle on my gut and chest before he laid down on top of me. Yeah, mine does the same. She does the same. In the dim light from my air purifier, I noticed Nacho look up, pause, walk off the chest of the bureau, over to the nightstand and onto the bed and stood there next to me, staring Crackerjack right in the eye. And he yolloped the crap out of Crackerjack and they fought on the bed for a few seconds. And then Nacho chased him out of the room. I must admit it was pretty funny. I wish I had a camera rolling. I know my Nacho loves me and is very jealous of anyone snuggling up to his mummy. Oh, I love these cat stories. Got to get back to work. And that's from Jennifer. Thank you very much for that, Jennifer. Wonderful email. Time to go, boys and girls. Don't forget the email address of the show. Send an email at any time. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll see you Saturday afternoon live at 3 o'clock. Bye-bye now.